Most High Yah, as we have asked you before, we ask you now and know that you will continue to bless us with your spirit and guide us in your word, that your name may be glorified. In the name of the Messiah, Yahweh Shah, we pray, Father. Amen. Okay. Chapter 11 of Hebrews is well known in people that have any acquaintance at all with the Bible. They understand that it's often called the faith chapter because it talks a lot about faith. Now, faith obviously is a very powerful thing, very powerful. It can be a very powerful substance. It's not substance, but a spirit. It has helped millions of people in many situations. But for our purposes, in terms of us being prepared for the Messiah's kingdom, which is soon to be established. Messiah is promised by the Father to receive a kingdom. And we have seen, as a matter of fact, the evidence of that in his word. Let's look in a couple of places, two places in particular that I'm thinking about. The first place is Daniel chapter 7. Daniel chapter 7. Daniel chapter 7. And verse 13 and 14. Daniel chapter 7, verse 13 and 14. And the scriptures say, "And I saw in the night visions, and behold, one like the Son of Man came with the clouds of heaven, and came to the Ancient of Days. And they brought him near before him. And there was given him dominion and glory and a kingdom, that all people, nations, and languages should serve him. His dominion is an everlasting dominion, which shall not pass away, and his kingdom that which shall not be destroyed." So we see the Ancient of Days is the Father. The Son of Man is the Messiah. And so the Messiah is brought near to the Father, and the Father gives him a kingdom. He gives it to him. He gives him something, and it's represented as a kingdom. And it says that that kingdom, all the people, nations, and languages of the earth are going to worship him, are going to be under his dominion. And his dominion is an everlasting dominion, which shall not pass away. Okay, let's go to verse 18, same chapter, Daniel. "But the saints of the Most High shall take the kingdom and possess the kingdom forever, even forever and ever." Now, brothers and sisters, this is a promise of the Most High. Okay, this is a promise of the Most High. So we understand here that the promise is Messiah is going to receive a kingdom from the Father. That kingdom is going to never pass away. We also understand that as the saints of the Most High, we're going to take the kingdom. Like Messiah is going to lead us to take the kingdom, and it's going to be with us forever. And just for emphasis, they said forever, even forever and ever. Like no end. Okay? All right. Also, Revelation. Same thing is being brought forth in the book of Revelation. We're going to bring three witnesses to this today. Same thing is being brought forth in the book of Revelation. Revelation chapter 5. This is the same event that Daniel saw is what Yochanan saw in Revelation, except there's given a couple of other details in Revelation chapter 5. Revelation chapter 5 from verse 1. From verse 1 from verse 1 down to verse 10. Okay, Revelation chapter 5 from verse 1 to 10. "And I saw in the right hand of him that sat on the throne," that is the Father, "a book written within and on the backside, sealed with 7 seals. And I saw a strong angel proclaim with a loud voice, 'Who is worthy to open the book and to loose the seals thereof. And no man in heaven nor in earth, neither under the earth, was able to open the book, neither to look thereon. And I wept much, because no man was found worthy to open and to read the book, neither to look thereon. And one of the elders saith unto me, Weep not. Behold, the Lion of the tribe of Judah, the root of David, hath prevailed to open the book and to loose the seven seals thereof. And I beheld, and lo, in the midst of the throne and of the four beasts, and in the midst of the elders, stood a lamb, having 7 horns and 7 eyes, which are the 7 spirits of Yahweh, sent forth into all the earth. And he came and took the book out of the right hand of him that sat upon the throne. And when he had taken the book, the 4 beasts and 24 elders fell down before the Lamb, having every one vials full of odors, which are the prayers of the saints. And they sung a new song, saying, Thou art worthy to take the book and to open the seal, for thou wast slain and hast redeemed us to Yah by thy blood out of every kindred and tongue and people and nation, and has made us unto our Most High kings and priests, and we shall reign on the earth. Remember what it said in Daniel? And the saints shall take the kingdom and possess the kingdom forever, even for not pass away, but shall stand forever. Same thing. So is given to him in the form of this book. And within this book that's sealed with 7 seals are the inhabitants of the kingdom. Testing 1, 2, 3. Are you following me? Testing 1, 2, 3. Are the inhabitants of the kingdom. Now the saints that shall take the kingdom are the Israelite people. And it says the kingdom is made up of all the different nations and peoples and languages. So the whole earth is going to be, the Messiah are going to rule as priests and kings on the earth, among other peoples and nations and languages. Okay, everybody got that? Testing 1, 2, 3. The same way, that's why he calls, of course, he's the root of David. Why is that important? Because when David was king, at the height of David's kingdom, before he sinned with Bathsheba, at the height of his kingdom, all the nations around Israel served Israel. And all of the sons of David were princes, and they ruled other nations. Everybody got me? Testing 1, 2, 3. They had garrisons with the Philistines. They had garrisons at Ammon. They had garrisons with Esau, and they had garrisons with Moab. They had places all over the earth. Everybody served David. That was the height of the kingdom. When you read about that in 2 Samuel, everybody served David. Nobody messed with him because the Most High was with him. That was a sample of what we're going to see with Messiah. All of the Messiah's chosen are going to be rulers on this earth. He's going to have them as over the earth, and they're going to be representing him and ruling among the heathen that are saved. Among the heathen that are saved. Okay? Everybody got me? Testing 1, 2, 3. Everybody see that? All right. One more. I tell you, was going to be another witness. There's another witness to this. Of course, Revelation chapter 19, because it says the saints shall take the kingdom. Saints shall take the kingdom. This is the first resurrection. Saints shall take the kingdom. Let's take a look again. Revelation chapter 19, same thing. Revelation 19, from verse 11 down to verse 21. Revelation chapter 19, verse 11 down to verse 21. Same thing. This is the third witness of what we're talking about. We're talking about strong faith today, not just any type of faith. We're talking about strong faith. So we're going to talk more about this now. Revelation chapter 19, from verse 11 down to verse 21. And I saw heaven open, and behold, a white horse. And he that sat upon him was called Faithful and True. And in righteousness he does judge and make war. His eyes were as a flame of fire, and on his head were many crowns. And he had a name written that no man knew but he himself. And he was clothed with a vesture dipped in blood, and his name is called the Word of Yahweh. And the armies which were in heaven followed him upon white horses, clothed in fine linen, white and clean. And out of his mouth goeth a sharp sword, that with it he should smite the nations, and he shall rule them with a rod of iron. And he treadeth the winepress of the fierceness and wrath of Al Shaddai. And he hath on his vesture and on his thigh a name written, King of Kings and Lord of Lords. And I saw an angel standing in the sun, and he cried with a loud voice, saying to all the fowls that fly in the midst of heaven, Come and gather yourselves together unto the supper of the great Most High, that ye may eat the flesh of kings, and the flesh of captains, and the flesh of mighty men, and the flesh of horses, and of them that sit on them, and the flesh of all men, both free and bond, both small and great. And I saw the beast and the kings of the earth and their armies gathered together to make war against him that sat on the horse and against his army. And the beast was taken. Wait, the beast was taken. Let me just say something to y'all right now before we finish reading this. You remember how Messiah said, there shall be two grinding at the mill, one shall be taken and the other left? Remember that? One shall be taken. What does that mean? Captured. One shall be captured and left to die, be ready to die. Right. This one, the beast was taken. The beast wasn't in a secret rapture. He's not in a secret rapture. It says he was taken. And with him the false prophet that wrought miracles before him, with which he deceived them that had received the mark of the beast and them that had worshipped his image. These both were cast alive into a lake of fire burning with brimstone. And the remnant were slain with the sword of him that sat upon the horse, which sword proceeded out of his mouth. And all the fowls were filled with their flesh. That's Ezekiel 39 also. So brothers and sisters, we're going to take the kingdom. There's going to be a scuffle. And when it talks about the beast and the false prophet, it's not just one person each. It's not just two people. Maybe people get this confused. The beast is representing all the representatives, all the leaders of Christianity, all the leaders of the Roman Catholic Church. The false prophet is all the leaders of all of these denominations of these Christianity that deceive the people. All of them are going to be cast alive into a lake of fire and brimstone. They're not going to come back into the second resurrection. This is it for them. Notice the devil's not cast in there yet. Not yet. He's in the second resurrection. There's no coming back from the lake of fire. The lake of fire is death forever. That's it. You've done. So he's first going to cast all of these false leaders, these T.D. Jakes, these Joel Osteens, all of these false religious teachers of all of these Mormon, SDA, Baptist denominations, all of these people that have rejected the truth, they got a spot waiting for them. They got a place waiting for them. They got a place waiting for them. They're going to try to lead their people to fight. That's right. No eternal life, no eternal existence, no coming back. Remember what the word says. They shall be as ashes under the soles of your feet in the day that thou shalt do this. That's what it says in Isaiah 66. They shall be as ashes under the soles of your feet. And then there's going to be a lot of them dead. And you're going to be burying them for 7 months. You think I'm lying? I'm not lying. Ezekiel chapter 39. Y'all better read the whole word and understand what it says. Ezekiel chapter 39. Let me give it to you. People don't know the word because reading parts of the Bible and not reading the whole thing. Notice what it says. Ezekiel chapter 39. Ezekiel 39. I'm going to begin at verse 7 and read from verse 7. Let's see. Down to verse 14. 7 to 14, Ezekiel 39. I'm not making this stuff up. Let's go down from 7 to 14. Notice what it said. So will I make, this is Most High speaking through his prophet, so will I make my holy name known in the midst of my people Israel. So I will not let them pollute my holy name anymore. And the heathen shall know that Ahia Yahweh, the Holy One of Israel. Behold, it is come, and it is done, saith the Most High Yahweh. This is the day whereof I have spoken, and they that dwell in the cities of Israel shall go forth and shall set on fire and burn the weapons, both the shields and the bucklers, the bows and the arrows and the handstaves and the spears. They shall burn them with fire 7 years, so that they shall take no wood out of the field, neither cut down any out of the forest. For they shall burn the weapons with fire, and they shall spoil those that spoiled them, and rob those that robbed them, saith the Most High Yahweh. And it shall come to pass in that day that I will give unto Gog a place there of graves in Israel, the valley of the passengers on the east of the sea, and it shall stop the noses of the passengers. And they shall bury Gog and all his multitude, and they shall call it the valley of Haman Gog. And 7 months shall the house of Israel be burying them, that they may cleanse the land. Yea, all the people of the land shall bury them, and it shall be to them a renown that day, the day that I shall be glorified, saith the Most High Yahweh. And they shall sever out men of continual employment, passing through the land to bury with the passengers those that remain upon the face of the earth, to cleanse it. And at the end of 7 months they shall search. There you go. Did I make it up, or did it say it in the word? Did I make up the 7 months number, or was it there? See what I'm saying? Did I make it? Was in the word, right? It said it right there. So now we see we're going to take the kingdom and possess the kingdom and destroy the wicked, and all those religious leaders that represent the false prophet and the beast. They're going to have a problem. They're going to have a problem. Because they're the ones that's going to have been egging them on to kill us. They're the ones that's going to have been setting it up so that we cannot buy or sell anymore. They're the ones that's going to have placed on them, caused to place on the mark of the beast, and we would have refused that mark because we're following the word of the Most High. Okay, one more scripture. Let's go to 2 Chronicles chapter 20. We've been in this one before, but this we're talking about strong faith today. You see, brothers and sisters, you can have faith in a lot of things. Okay? You can have faith in a lot of things, but the strong faith is a faith that hangs on to the word of Yah. Let me say that again. A strong faith is a faith that hangs on to the word of Yah. People always ask me, what do I do in this situation? Or how do I feel about this? And I will often say, what does the word say? Well, I don't know what it says. Well, why don't you look it up? You understand, brothers and sisters? Now, I can distribute the scriptures to you like a doctor describes prescription. Right? Read this one and read that one. I can do that, but it'll be really good if you can find it for yourself. Yes, I'm a teacher. I'm teaching right now. And what am I teaching you? Please study the word and know the promises of Yah for yourself. And trust in them. And hang on to them. Do not let them go. Because Asatan and it's going to make it seem like none of these words are going to come to pass. Like I said, we're scattered, we're disorganized, we're outnumbered. That's the truth about it. We're scattered, disorganized, outnumbered. Many of us by ourselves. It looks really bad. Just like it did with Gideon. Gideon came with 10,000 against an army that had over 100,000. He was way outnumbered. And the Most High said to Gideon, you got too many. He said, you got too many, brother. You don't need that many. He was coming with 10,000 against an army of 100,000. And the Most High said, you got too many. He came with 300 men against 100,000 and won. That's faith in the word of the Most High. You understand? That's faith in the word of the Most High. Brothers and sisters, again, we talked earlier about the two camps of lost people, condemned people, people that are out for self, that are scheming for self, right? People that don't want to deal with the truth at all, have no love for it because it's inconvenient, right? One of the other things that those lost people have in common is that they do not hang on to the word of the Father. 2 Chronicles chapter 20. Second Chronicles chapter 20. Notice again what it says. Second Chronicles chapter 20. I'm going to read from verse 15 down to verse 20. From 15 down to verse 20. Second Chronicles 2:20. Notice what it says. And ye inhabitants of Jerusalem, and thou King Jehoshaphat, thus saith Yahweh unto you, be not afraid, nor dismayed by reason of this great multitude, for the battle is not yours, but Yah's. Down against them. Behold, they come up by the cliff of Ziz, and ye shall find them at the end of the brook, before the wilderness of Jeruel. Ye shall not need to fight in this battle. Set yourselves, stand ye still, and see the salvation of Yahweh with you. O Judah and Jerusalem, fear not, nor be dismayed. Tomorrow go out against them, for Yahweh will be with you. And Jehoshaphat bowed his head with his face to the ground, and all Judah and the inhabitants of Jerusalem fell before Yahweh, worshiping Yahweh. And the Levites of the children of the Kohathites and of the children of the Korites stood up to praise Yahweh, the God of Israel, with a loud voice on high. And they rose early in the morning and went forth into the wilderness of Tekoa. And as they went forth, Jehoshaphat stood and said, hear me, O Judah, and ye inhabitants of Jerusalem. Believe in Yahweh your Most High, so shall ye be established. Believe his prophets, so shall ye prosper. And when notice what it said in verse 20. He said, hear, O Judah and Jerusalem, believe Yahweh your Most High, so shall ye be established. What? Believe his prophets, so shall ye prosper. Y'all caught that one? Y'all caught that one? Believe his word and believe his prophets. Because all the word, the whole Bible, is written generally from prophets. Believe his prophets, so shall ye prosper. And they showed their faith by standing firm, by going out like they were told. They showed their faith by having their wives, their children, and their little ones in the doorway of the houses, believing that the Creator was going to protect them. Brothers and sisters, the Bible tells us faith without works is dead. And so when we trust the word of the Most High, we're always going to be challenged as to how we trust the word. Do we scare? Do we run scared? Do we crumble and hide under the covers? Or do we stand firm like a lion? Do we stand firm like a lion on the word of the Most High? That's the key, right? Notice again, James chapter 2. James chapter 2. We know this scripture very well, but it goes with what we're talking about today. James chapter 2, notice what it says. James 2, going to read from verse 15 down to verse 26. James chapter 2 from verse 15 to verse 26. If a brother or sister be naked and destitute of daily food, and one of you say unto them, depart in peace, be ye warmed and filled, notwithstanding ye give them not those things which are needful to the body, what does it profit? Even so faith, if it hath not works, is dead, being alone. Yea, a man may say, thou hast faith, and I have works. Show me thy faith without thy works, and I will show thee my faith by my works. Thou believest that there is one God? Thou doest well. The devils also believe and tremble. But what wilt thou know, O vain man, that faith without works is dead? Was not Abraham our father justified by works when he had offered Isaac his son upon the altar? Seeing how that faith wrought with his works, and by works was faith made perfect, and the scripture was fulfilled, which saith, Abraham believed Yah, and it was imputed unto him for righteousness, and he was called the friend of Yah. Ye see then how that by works a man is justified, and not by faith only. Likewise also was not Rahab the harlot, justified by works when she had received the messengers and had sent them out another way? For as the body without spirit is dead, so faith without works is dead also. So faith is the spirit, the works are the body. You understand? So, brothers and sisters, when we trust in the righteousness of Yah, we trust by faith that his righteousness is covering us. He's going to give us opportunity to show that we believe that. He's going to give us opportunity. You ain't got to go looking for it. It's going to come to you. It's going to come to you when Asatan whispers stuff in your ear. You going to believe it or not? That's what it comes down to. And your faith will be made perfect when you stand firm against temptation. That's what it is. When you believe the word of the Most High and his word being revealed to you and you believe it. If it's been convicted by the Spirit and you believe it, stand firm. Stand firm on the word. Because brothers and sisters, we're being tested even now. All of us are being tested. Why? Because we're going to come to a very great test very shortly. In the next few years, he's going to bring those of us that are alive and remain through a great test of faith. All the numbers are going to be against us. All what it looks like is going to be against us. All the earth is going to be against us. And we are only going to have our conviction of faith in the word of our Father. And we're only going to desire to give glory to our Father. So we have to get practice in that right now. And that's what happens every day. You're being tempted. You're being tempted to be angry or to be fearful. You're being tempted to make moves that you know you shouldn't make. You're being tempted to do things that you know you shouldn't do. And you have to stand firm on the word that has been shown to you. You have to stand firm on the word that you have studied and read. Brothers and sisters, listen to me carefully. Please type a 1 if you can hear me, because I want to make sure you hear what I'm about to say. Please type a 1 if you can hear me. Thank you very much. Listen, learn the Bible. Learn the promises of the Bible. Start to read it. You're going to have promises hit you all the time. I was reading through the Psalms today and I was seeing so many promises, I had to just pause. Read the promises of the word. We just read some. Go back through this video and look at all the scriptures we have just shared with you. And read them for yourself and believe them. You're going to need that. You're going to need it. And the Most High will bless you. He will bless you. So now as we go to Hebrews chapter 11, what we're going to be looking at in Hebrews chapter 11, not just examples of faith, but examples of strong faith that are showing us how to trust the word of the Most High. These are all Israelite people that have trusted the word of the Creator. Okay? That's what we're going to be reading about. Israelite people that have shown their faith by trusting the word of their Creator against anything else. Let's look at it. Hebrews chapter 11, from verse 1 down to verse 3. Hebrews 11, 1 to 3. Now faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. For by it the elders obtained a good report. Through faith, we understand that the worlds were framed by the word of Yah, so that the things which are seen are not made by things which do appear. Let me explain something else to you one more time. I just want to make sure. Brothers and sisters, I would like you to try this experiment. I would like you to try this experiment, okay? Just try it for one day and see if it works for you that one day, do it a second day. All right? Are you hearing me? Testing 1, 2, 3. Here's the experiment. Try to be positive and faithful about everything you say for a day. Don't say anything negative. If somebody say, I'd like to go to school, you say you're going to go to school. If somebody say, oh, I hate this, you say, no, it's going to be all right. Try to respond positively just for one day to everything that comes at you. Do not be negative at all. Be positive and lean on the word of your Father in faith. See what happens. Just try it for one day. Will you do that? Try it for one day. And if it works for you that day, if you come out that day with a joy in your heart, give praise to your Father. Give praise for him. And then do it again. Do it again. You understand? Yes, speak words of life. That's it. Speak words of life. You know why, brothers and sisters? Because you have decided to serve the Father. Therefore, the Father has put his spirit of righteousness on you. Therefore, when you speak words, there's more power behind them than you realize. Because it's not you. It's him. There's more power behind you than you realize. That's right. No negative words. Don't believe any negative thought. Don't let it hit you when something negative comes at you when you feeling bad. You respond to it with faith of your. You understand? Yes, yes. Try that for a day. Try that for a day, and see what happens. See what happens. The reason I say that is because if you can walk, that's called walking in faith. Walking in faith. And when you learn to walk in faith like that, you become a blessing to people around you. You become a blessing and you become a witness to the Father. A true witness. Okay? You become a true witness to the Father. And he will pour on you more of his spirit. Yeah. Okay? So it's substance of things hoped for. And in this case, you see people, I've seen preachers, and even maybe I may have been guilty in past times of doing it myself. This definition of in Hebrews 11 is more than just talking about material things like I want this house, please help me get this mortgage. It's more than that. This is trust in the word of the Most High, in the promises given concerning the kingdom, brothers and sisters, concerning the kingdom. So if you really understand that everything we see in this earth is going to be destroyed, all of these institutions and these cities that man has built is going to be leveled. Everything is going to be knocked down, and we're going to build it ourselves. Again, we're going to build it up ourselves. We're going to plant our own vineyards and our own fruit trees and our own stuff. And we're going to eat the fruit of our own hands. And we're going to be blessed. If you understand that and you believe it, brothers and sisters, there's nothing on this earth that you see is going to hold you too down too long. Because you know it's all temporary. Everything that a man makes is temporary. Everything Yah makes is eternal. That's the truth about it. Everything that a man can make on this earth is temporary. It's not going to last. But anything that is made with the power of the Father is forever. Can never be destroyed. You understand? It can never be destroyed. Okay? Hebrews chapter 11 from verse 4 down to verse 11. Hebrews chapter 11 from verse 4 down to verse 11. Notice what it says. By faith, Abel offered unto Yah a more excellent sacrifice than Cain, by which he obtained witness that he was righteous, Yah testifying of his gifts, and by it he being dead yet speaketh. By faith Enoch was translated that he should not see death, and was not found, because Yah had translated him. For before his translation he had this testimony, that he pleased Yah. But without faith it is impossible to please him. For he that cometh to Yah must believe that he is, and that he's a rewarder of them that diligently seek him. That he is. You know what that means in Hebrew? I am. You know that, right? I am in Hebrew is Ahaya. You must believe Ahaya. Moses said, what should I call you? He said, I exist. I exist. Tell him I exist. I am. That's first person. That's what he's saying. He said that's first person. And his name in third person is Yah exists. Yahweh. Yah exists. See? That's the third person. He's speaking of himself in the third person. But by my name, Yahweh, they did not know me. That's what he told Moses later. But he said, go tell the children of Israel, Ahaya, I exist. He said, you must believe Ahaya. You must believe I exist. Because if he exists, then why don't you believe his word? If he doesn't exist, why are you believing his word? Okay, I exist. And of course, we talked about our reason for being on this planet is to bring honor and glory to our Creator, to our Father. That's the object. And so in order to please him, we have to have what? Faith. Without faith, it's impossible to please him. Without faith, it's impossible to please him. Okay, so we have to have that spirit of righteousness from him. We have to exercise it on a daily basis. Exercise those spirit muscles on a daily basis. Praise the Most High Yah. Okay? By faith, Noah, being warned of Yah, of things not seen as yet, moved with fear, preparing an ark to the saving of his house, by the which he condemned the world and became heir of the righteousness which is by faith. Woo! Righteousness by faith. That means righteousness through believing Yah's word. Huh? He believed Yah's word and became heir of righteousness by faith, which is the faith of Messiah. Isn't that right? The righteousness of the Father is the faith of Messiah. You become heir of that faith, of that righteousness by believing him and moving on that belief, trusting him and moving on that trust by being full of faith and positivity of righteousness all day long. All day. Every day. How we say it among from my neighborhood, all day, every day. 24/7. Praise the Most High Yahweh. Praise his name. Okay, let's continue. By faith, Abraham, when he was called to go out into a place which he should after receive an inheritance, obeyed. And he went out, not knowing whither he went. By faith, he sojourned in the land of promise as in a strange country, dwelling in tabernacles with Isaac and Jacob, the heirs with him of the same promise. By the way, when you look at the life of Abraham in terms of the years, Jacob and Esau were 15 years old when Abraham died. In other words, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob lived together for 15 years. They were 15 years. He said, dwell in tabernacles with Isaac and Jacob. See? So they were together. Jacob and Esau were 15 years old when Abraham died at age 175. Okay, they dwelt together. And so they all had what? The same faith. They were all of the same faith. They had a household. They had tents. They had servants. Isaac inherited all that. The Bible tells us that Abraham had many sons, and he gave sons gifts, and he sent them away from his camp. Why? Because he didn't want them being confused with the son of promise, which was Isaac, Yishak. And so the Bible says he had sons with Keturah, he had other sons with concubine. He sent them sons away, gave them gifts, and they were blessed. But there remained Yishak with him, okay, because he was the heir. The main heir. Okay. Let's see. Okay. Verse 10. For he looked for a city which hath foundations, whose builder and maker is Yahweh. Wait a minute. So Abraham was looking for a city that Yah built. Well, when they came upon Jerusalem, that was built by the Jebusites. Did you know Jerusalem was not built by Hebrews? Jerusalem was built by the Jebusites. The Jebusites built Jerusalem. Okay? The Jebusites did that. But the New Jerusalem is built by Yah. The New Jerusalem is built by Yah. Right? So he's looking for that one. So in other words, even though Abraham understood his children was going to be blessed, there was going to be a nation, blah, 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 but he's looking for the eternal kingdom. Looking forward to that. Praise Yah. And teaching his grandchildren the same. Praise the Most High. Through faith also Sarah herself received strength to conceive seed, and was delivered of a child when she was past age, because she judged him faithful who had promised. Now, Sarah believed the word that Messiah told her. Remember, Messiah and two angels came to visit her the year before. The Messiah came to visit her the year before with two angels. Later on that day, or whatever, a couple of days, he sent the two angels to go destroy Sodom and Gomorrah. But they first sat down and ate with Abraham and promised Abraham and Sarah that the next year they were going to have a son. And then they even told him the name of the son. They said, oh, because you laugh. And Sarah said, no, I didn't laugh. He said, yeah, you laughed. But it's all right. Just you're going to call the boy to laugh. His name's going to be Yishak, which means to laugh. We're going to call him to laugh. That way you remember, I told you the year before you're going to have this child. She believed the word of the Most High, and she had the child. See? Faith and works. She believed, and she had the child. You follow me? Testing 1, 2, 3. She believed, and she had the child. This whole chapter is about that. Okay? Let's continue. From verse 12 and to verse 14. Actually, from verse 12 to verse 15. Actually, to 16. I'm sorry. From verse 12 to verse 16. My bad. From verse 12 to verse 16. Therefore sprang there even of one in him as good as dead, so many as the stars of the sky in multitude, as the sand which is by the seashore innumerable. These all died in faith, not having received the promises, but having seen them afar off, and were persuaded of them, and embraced them, and confessed that they were strangers and pilgrims on the earth. For they that say such things declare plainly that they seek a country. And truly, if they had been mindful of that country from whence they came out, they might have had opportunity to have returned. But now they desire a better country, that is, an heavenly. Wherefore Yah is not ashamed to be called their Most High, for he hath prepared for them a city. They were looking for the city that we're looking for. Even though the children of Israel would inhabit the land and sin and go against the Most High and be scattered, that was just a sample, a temporary thing, something to show us what was coming. What Abraham and his brethren and his children were looking for was an eternal city that Father had built, which we're going to inhabit with them, called the New Jerusalem. Okay, we're going to inhabit that with them, called the New Jerusalem. He's prepared for them a city. And again, Messiah also back the same thing when he said, I go, what? To prepare a place for you. And if I go and prepare a place for you, I will come myself, that where I am, there ye may be also. Okay? So Messiah, back up what the Father said, of course. We're going to get a city. We're going to have a country. We're going to have a nation. We're going to rule this earth. The true believers, the true followers of the Hebrew Messiah, of the line of the tribe of Judah, will rule this earth. Praise Yah. Yes. Praise the Most High. Okay. Let's continue from verse 17 down to verse 23. By faith Abraham, when he was tried, offered up Isaac, or Yisha'ak, begotten son, of whom it was said that in Yisha'ak that Yah was able to raise him up even from the dead, from whence also he received him in a figure. By faith Yisha'ak blessed Yaakov and Esau concerning things to come. By faith Yaakov, when he was dying, blessed both the sons of Joseph, and worshipped leaning upon the top of his back. By faith, when he died, made mention of the departing of the children of Israel, and gave, when he was born, was hid 3 months of his parents, because they saw he was a proper child, and they were not afraid of the king's commandment. Yes, he was a beautiful child. He was called to be a leader. He was called from before the womb to lead the nation, and they did not do what Pharaoh commanded, which is throw all the males in the river unto the alligators and crocodiles. They did not do that. Praise Yah. Okay. So these are showing not only the belief in the word of the Most High, but actions that backed up that belief. Y'all follow me? Actions that backed up that belief. There's a belief in the righteousness of the Most High. There's a belief in the Spirit of the Father. And then there's actions that say, I have received his righteousness and my sin is forgiven. I have received his Spirit and I'm going to walk in it by faith. Praise the Most High Yah. I believe the kingdom is soon to come and I'm going to inhabit it and inherit it with my brethren. Praise the Most High Yah. Let us continue. Hebrews chapter 11 from verse 24 down to verse 27. By faith Moses, or Moshe, when he was come to years, refused to be called the son of Pharaoh's daughter, choosing rather to suffer affliction with the people of Yah, than to enjoy the pleasures of sin for a season, esteeming the reproach of Messiah greater riches than the treasures in Egypt, for he had respect unto the recompense of the reward. By faith he forsook Egypt, not fearing the wrath of the king, for he endured as seeing him who is invisible. See? So we understand now by these few verses that the Father is invisible. We can't see him, right? Because he's perfect righteousness and we are not. But we will be able to see his face when we're in the kingdom, right? Because his name's going to be in our foreheads. We're going to see his face. The Bible shows us that in Revelation chapter 22. We're going to see his face in the kingdom. But right now he's invisible. But he exists. Ahaya, he exists. Yahweh, Yah exists. Yahweh Shai, Yah exists to save. Ahaya, he exists. We know that even though he's invisible. Yes. And Moses believed that. That's why Moses could have been Pharaoh. Moses could have been Pharaoh. Bible says he was skilled in all the knowledge of the Egyptians. He was skilled. He understood all their culture. He understood all their beliefs. He was skilled in their military ways. He was skilled hand to hand. He was skilled in all of their mathematics. Moses was skilled. He forsook it all to walk in the desert with the true nation of Israel. He forsook it all. The Bible says he refused to be called the son of Pharaoh's daughter. He could have been Pharaoh. He forsook the riches of Egypt because by faith he looked at a kingdom that wasn't even existing yet, that he believed was going to exist by a God he couldn't see. Seeing him who is invisible. Praise the Most High Yah. Then he saw the fruit of his works, verse 28, 29. He saw the fruit of his faith, verse 28, 29. Through faith he kept the Passover and the sprinkling of blood, lest he that destroyed the firstborn should touch them. By faith they passed through the Red Sea as by dry land, which the Egyptians are saying to do were drowned. So all of those judgments that came on Egypt, and the deliverance through the firstborn through the Passover, that was he saw what the result of his faith was. So will we. Praise the Most High. So will we. Okay? Let's read from verse 30 down verse 31. By faith the walls of Jericho fell down after they were compassed about 7 days. By faith the harlot Rahab perished not with them that believed not, when she had received the spies with peace. So again, she believed the word. In this case, she was a heathen that believed the word of the Most High's people. That believed the word of the Most High's people when they said to her, we're going to destroy this place and we're going to save you and your family if you do certain things. She did what she was supposed to do. And not only that, she knew from what she heard about the chosen people that they were coming and there was nothing going to stop them. So again, by faith in the Most High, she did what she did and she was rewarded. Now he's going to go through a lot of things here that are similar to what we're going to go through and what we're already dealing with. Here we go. Hebrews chapter 11. From verse 32 down to verse 40. From verse 32 down to verse 40. And what shall I more say? For the time would fail me to tell of Gideon, and of Barak, and of Samson, and of Jephthah, and of David also, and Samuel, and of the prophets who through faith subdued kingdoms, stopped the mouths of lions, quenched the violence of fire, escaped the edge of the sword, out of weakness were made strong, waxed valiant in fight, turned to fight armies of aliens, received their dead raised to life again, and others were tortured, not accepting deliverance, they may obtain a better resurrection. Others had trial of cruel mockings and scourgings, yea, moreover, of bonds and imprisonment. They were stoned, they were sawn asunder, they were tempted, were slain with the sword. They wandered about in sheep's skins and goat skins, being destitute, afflicted, and tormented, of whom the world was not worthy. They wandered in deserts and in mountains and in dens and caves of the earth. These all, having obtained a good report through faith, received not the promise, Yah having provided some better thing for us, that they without us should not be made perfect. Praise the Most High. Now, I want y'all hear all this noise. The devil is angry at what we are doing today. He's very angry at this word. And he has these fools standing right by my window mowing lawns in December. Yes. But it's all good. There's no problem. Praise the Most High, Yah. No good. It's no problem. That's right. It's no problem. Praise the Most High. Yes. And now that I'm finished, they're going away. Wow, isn't that something? Praise the Most High, Yah. Let's have a word of prayer. Most High, Yah, we give you thanks and praise and honor and glory.